Yo, what is up, guys? Del Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Egidijus Kavaliauskas knocks out Mikael Zewski in the 8th round of a fairly competitive fight. I actually watched this fight live with UCTV, Mark from Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, and also Big Dan. We was watching this fight on stream. And yeah, man, I thought this fight was fairly entertaining for what it was. At the end of the day, though, Egidijus Kavaliauskas got the job done. He had a few issues here and there, but for the most part, he was, in charge of this fight. First 2-3 rounds, I felt Mikael Zewski was doing a pretty good job. In round 1, I thought he was jabbing quite well, and he was throwing like a looping right hand behind it, which was catching Kavaliauskas. And yeah, he was certainly throwing shots back at Kavaliauskas in the first sort of 2-3 rounds. And yeah, the first 2-3 rounds were fairly competitive, to be honest. After the 3rd round, I think you could have certainly had Zewski 2-1 up, for example. He was doing pretty good in the first 3 rounds. But like round 4 onwards, I felt Kavaliauskas did a good job of actually implementing his jab. His jab in this fight against Zewski was a ramrod jab, and that's what we come to expect from Kavaliauskas. He's got a really, really hard jab, and that shot was giving Zewski a lot of problems. It was penetrating the guard, rocking his head back, and it was certainly a damaging punch throughout this fight for Kavaliauskas. And as the fight kind of wore on, Zewski was having less and less success. He was landing shots here and there, but after like round 3, I felt Kavaliauskas was taking control. He was doing a pretty good job, like I say, of landing that jab. He was working the body pretty effectively, and he was slowly breaking down Zewski, who was certainly defiant, but at the end of the day, he never really, put Kavaliauskas in his place by landing a super hard shot. Kavaliauskas really wasn't deterred from coming forwards in this fight, and I think that was Zewski's main problem. He never really got Kavaliauskas' respect. Yeah, he caught him with a good shot here and there, but I don't think he ever really hurt Kavaliauskas, whereas the work from Kavaliauskas was clearly having an effect, As this fight wore on, I felt that Mikael Zewski, his punches seemed less powerful, and there was kind of like less snap in those punches. The accumulation of work from Kavaliauskas was having a impact as this fight wore on. And yeah, basically it was like a solo kind of beatdown on Mikael Zewski from Kavaliauskas. Round 8 was where the trouble really started. Kavaliauskas caught Zewski with a really good right uppercut, which buzzed Zewski, and then Kavaliauskas really kind of piled on the pressure, landed a few hard shots, and he dropped Mikael Zewski towards the end of round 8. And in round 9, Kavaliauskas wasn't hanging around. He basically went in there to finish the job. He landed a right hand to start round 9, which dropped Mikael Zewski, and the referee waved this fight off. And quite frankly, I think it was quite a good stoppage, to be honest. Kavaliauskas really was starting to take over. He was starting to lay hands on Zewski, and the right hand in round 9 that he dropped Zewski with was certainly a hard shot. So yeah, I think that was quite a good stoppage by the referee. And for the most part, Kavaliauskas from round 3 onwards was pretty much in control of this fight. There was the odd moment of defiance from Zewski here and there, but ultimately it wasn't enough. He was trying to remain competitive, but ultimately, Kavaliauskas was really starting to take over. So yeah, good to see Kavaliauskas after that loss to Crawford last December. I actually felt Kavaliauskas made a pretty good account of himself against Terence Crawford last year. I actually felt he dropped Crawford, to be honest. The referee never called it, but in my opinion, he certainly dropped Crawford, and he won a couple of rounds. So Kavaliauskas is certainly a decent fighter, and yeah, he's far too good for the likes of Zewski, for example, and we saw that in this fight. So, moving forwards, I would maybe like to see Kavaliauskas fight someone like Yordenis Ugas, for example. Ugas obviously holds that WBA regular title. I think that would be a good fight for Kavaliauskas, maybe a winnable one. I would favour Ugas, to be honest, but that's a good fight. Maybe Kavaliauskas versus Jamal James. I think that would be a very good fight. The problem with these fights I'm mentioning, though, the guys I'm mentioning are PBC, and obviously Kavaliauskas is top rank. So I'm not really sure what opportunities Kavaliauskas is going to get at Top Rank, to be honest. He's already fought Crawford, so what else is there for him there, to be honest? Maybe a fight with Jose Benavidez, the guy who Crawford beat. That could be a pretty decent fight. But apart from that, there's really not much there on the Top Rank side of things at welterweight. So, potentially Kavaliauskas, maybe he should start looking at changing promoters, for example, something like that. But Kavaliauskas looked pretty good. He's certainly an entertaining fighter, carries power, good jab, good solid basic fundamentals. I think Kavaliauskas is going to be one of those guys who can give the top guys problems, but he's always going to fall short. But yeah, he's still a pretty good fighter in my opinion, and he looked fairly good against Mikael Zewski. Anyway, share your thoughts below. What did you make of Kavaliauskas' performance, and where does he go next? Peace.